Decide what you want, and then I will make it real indeed. Don't say time to go. No, I know you got some to spare. We've been fighting feeling when it's obvious that we both care. So take me to the moon. I wanna be with the stars. Send me into orbit. Oh, send me into orbit.
Hey y'all, we are back yet again with another episode of the Sensual, Eccentric podcast. This is episode 8. We moving on up, y'all. Ocho. Let's get it. Y'all ready to go to the moon? Y'all ready to go beyond the stars? Tonight we have a great topic. And let me tell y'all, so everything that I do is divinely inspired. So I actually changed the topic because this topic is something that spoke to me, I'm not sure how many days ago, but it wasn't the original topic for this week. Now, we're usually here on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, but as a poet, I got invited out to spit. So we are here tonight. Now, usually the topics do not pertain to something I am going through at the moment. For whatever reason, I'm kind of feeling and in the energy of what tonight's topic is. So this is going to be interesting. I'm excited. I'm also a little bit nervous because I don't need for anything to be personal to me. Not in my state of mind, because of your girl been struggling. She is. That's another story for another time. But tonight's topic is, that was like my ghetto drum roll. When is enough enough? Oh my gosh. Has anybody ever had enough? Like, enough is enough. When you are completely done, it is over with. It's a wrap. Shut it down. Pack it up. Let's go. We getting the F up out of here or there or wherever the heck we need to get the heck up out of. You feel me? So, this is going to be interesting. Now, how it pertains to me tonight is I'm a little fed up with some stuff. I am in a very interesting season in my life right now. It is a season that I have not been in a very long time. Seems like forever for me. I'm in a season of confusion. I am in a season of fear. I am in a season of discouragement. If y'all knew how difficult it was for me to speak that out loud and still try to compose myself and not get emotional, because it's too freaking early in the podcast to be getting emotional. Look, I look a little cute. I ain't trying to cry. I got eyeliner on. Y'all see my eyeliner? Anywho, so when is enough enough? When I thought about this a few minutes ago, because I don't prepare anything. I never write down any questions. I never, write down a subject and be like, okay, this is going to be my answer. When I do this podcast, it's like improv. However I feel in the moment, however my spirit and wisdom leads me and guides me, look, it comes straight from the heart chakra up to the throat chakra, out the mouth canal. Um, so when I thought about when is enough enough, the first thing that came to my mind is, can y'all guess? When you ain't got no more peace. Look, when your peace is gone, enough is enough. I hope y'all hear me when I say that. Hear me clearly. Enough is enough when you don't have peace anymore. Like, it's time to go. Like, pack it up, it, moving right along, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Another way to know or to recognize when enough is when you think about it or you talk about it, you're agitated. I mean, agitated in the seat of your spirit. It's like everything about it just makes you cringe and you're over it. I've been here before. I know what I'm talking about. Um, some other things that I felt when enough is when you can't cry about it no more. I don't know how many people have ever had to cry about some situations, or when you're no longer concerned, when you're not concerned anymore and you just agitated and you don't have peace. It's definitely time to go. Run as fast as you can. Ain't you can't catch me, and I ain't no gingerbread man, but you still ain't gonna catch me because pune, I'm gone. Like, I got my boots on the ground, combat boots. I'm running. It's time to go. Um, let's see. When your peace is gone, when you're agitated, when you can't cry anymore. Another thing is when you don't talk about it anymore. Enough is enough when you just take action. That might be the biggest one right there. You don't talk about it, you don't think about it, you just do what needs to be done. It's like it ain't nothing else to say. The only thing left to do is to move forward, and you do so however that needs to be done. Um, I'm trying to think specifically a place or a time in my life when enough was enough. For me, it was usually with relationships. That's messed up as a female. Like, God dang, well, I ain't gonna refer to myself just as a female because I am a grown ass woman. Believe that. But as a woman, for me, um, if I'm not mistaken, the only time enough has been enough in my life, I, I would say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunate. It's the reality. Is dealing with relationships. Um, and when it was time to go, I look, we ain't got enough time for those stories right there. But when I tell y'all it was time to go, because enough was truly enough. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen like a production company when they say that's a wrap and everybody just start wrapping stuff up, and or at the end of a party, um if you've ever been to a party or a kickback and people get to clean it up, it's like they pushing you out. Yeah, one of those situations. Um, but there can be several circumstances and scenarios to where enough is enough. One is definitely um, the workplace, your job. It can get to a point, if I want to choose my words carefully. I'm not sure if I want to say if you are out of your place of purpose. I'm not going to say that because I'm not really feeling that. But When something has changed and that spot no longer is fitting for you, then it will eventually get to a point to where enough is enough. And if you at a job and you're feeling irritated and you coming to work every day and you're miserable, you don't have any peace, you cringe, isn't enough enough? When are you going to move? When are you going to get the heck up out of there? Because how long do we have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired? Um, we be so tired. We be so beat down. We be so distraught. We be so miserable. But as I stated earlier, one of the big things about, or maybe the number one thing about when enough is when you don't say anything and you just do what needs to be done. It's an automatic reaction. Something just clicks and you move. So I'm gonna focus on that tonight. Enough is enough mainly when you just do what needs to be done. Like, ain't that the truth? Um, there are times, I talked about, my relationships or past relationships. I'm unhappy. I've talked to my partners about what I'm feeling, what I'm unhappy with, what I need what I would like for it to change. And I'm the kind of person that I believe, when you express how you feel and you want something or need something to change and it doesn't, especially when it comes to relationships, it is not fair to your partner to continue to ask them to change. That's nagging. It is unnecessary. People are who they are. And if you have spoken to someone about something that is unsatisfactory to you and it doesn't change, more than likely, I want to say 100%, it is not in them to change at that point. So when you keep asking them to change or expecting them to change, that's going against their nature because that's not who they are at that point in time. So it is up to you as the person that is unsatisfied, dissatisfied, to make a decision. Am I going to accept who they are, how they operate, what I am unhappy or displeased with? Or do I pack it up and get the hell up out of there? Has enough become enough? Do we recognize the signs? That right there is a question to be answered. Let's see, where can we go from here? Um, y'all excuse me while I get me a drink of water. So we were talking about in the workplace. What's up, Vaughn? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, sweetheart. Dealing with the workplace. I'm glad I caught your comment. I believe that's the first one I've seen since we've been live. But in the workplace, like, it is very unhealthy to be on a job and to have to function or try to function doing your job if you're unhappy. And I'm not just talking about a bad day at work. I'm not talking about being unhappy in life. But if it is something particularly or specific about that job that you just feel drained and you're miserable and you don't have no peace to where you're feeling empty, you're at the point on the verge of enough being enough. I think about this just came this just came to me. Why do we allow things to get to a point to where enough is enough? Is that taking it too far? Have we waited too long at that point? Or is it that we've been patient? Because sometimes I like to think I stay in a situation as long as I can because when I walk away, I don't want to have any regrets. I have to know in my heart of hearts that I have done everything to make a situation work. That's just me. Um, I'm not going to talk about loyalty because for me it's not about loyal. It's not about not wanting something to fail. It's just knowing within myself that I gave it everything that I had. And when I say everything, it's blood, sweat, and tears without the blood, maybe a little bit of sweating, a whole lot of damn tears. But it feels that intense to where it does physically feel like I've shed blood. Like, cause you talking about gut wrenching when you don't have peace. Um, when you just cringe at the thought of something, baby, that ain't no good place to be in. Not at all. It's very taxing on the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Like it's burdensome. That is a heavy load to carry. And it leaves you bruised. It leaves you broken, and there's so much healing to do after that. Um, what's another scenario? We have relationships. You can get sick and tired, um, and get to a point to where enough is enough in relationships, in the workplace, um, in your life, in your just own personal life and what you have going on as far as maybe goals or your state of mind. You're tired of living the way that you're living. I can think about back in and I'm going to talk about mental health for a moment. This was back in maybe September, maybe October. Yeah, September. I got to a point where, greetings, beloved. How are you, darling? That is, I can't see who that is. I'm recognizing the profile picture though. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us. You could have been anywhere tonight doing anything, but you have given me a little time and you're here sharing space, and I don't take that lightly at all. Um, mental health. Okay, so back in September, I was going through some mental health issues and struggles. And for me, enough was enough when I was afraid. There has not been too many times in my life when I was dealing with mental health issues and mental health struggles that I was afraid. So I was like, ooh, because I don't scare easily. Like, I'm me, I'm a G about a lot of stuff, I'm not a warrior. Um, Not a lot of things move me to the point to where I'm like, ooh, this is a problem. So when I got to that point, I was like, okay, enough is enough. I have to do something. And at that time, for that situation, my doing something was going to see a therapist, talking to a counselor. I was ready to get put back on meds. I was like, hey, medicate me because she ain't right. She being me, she being we, she being us, all of us in here, because it's a lot of us It's a lot of us in here. Man, we was not together. Do you hear me? Like, it wasn't good. And so that fear was like, okay, it's time to do something. Cause Ninja, you scared. Like, you ain't never been scared. Not about your mental health. Man, look, talk about cracking the fuck up and not laughing. I hope I don't look through what I done been through. Look, so much to be said there. Um, so that was, if I'm not mistaken, the most recent to where something that there was a situation to where enough was enough and I had to do something. Oh my gosh, if I talk about what came before that, as far as enough being enough, that may be a little too deep and too intense for me because it deals with me having to cut people off. Oh my. Cutting people off that I truly care about. And I use care in the present tense, not past tense. Because people be like, I cared about them. If I care, I care. It's never going to stop. It ain't never gonna go away. I'm not gonna ever lose it. It ain't gonna never die. Because care is, it's a level of love. And my love is true. So yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do that one. This is not, well, it could be a therapy section, but I ain't ready to be having therapy for myself on camera. Nah, we ain't ready for that. I ain't got to the point to where enough is enough, and I need to do that. You feel me? On that note, I'm gonna take a sip of water because shit is getting real. Like, oh, MG. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this side of me. This certain softness, this certain what people may consider vulnerability. Um, I'm gonna cut the camera off because I don't want to look at myself because I'm getting emotional. But my ministry is real. And me doing this podcast is about sharing wisdom and knowledge. And a lot of times when we are sharing wisdom and knowledge and when we're for people, your own shit come up. God damn it, I wasn't expecting for this shit to happen. Not really happy about it either. Like, I just want to talk to the people. I just want to be a beacon of light. But for me to be streaming live on such a big platform to where God knows who can see me in the state that I'm in, emotional, that's, man, that's major. That is a yeah, that's real ministry right there. Um, I'm at a loss for doggone words. How did we get here? Am I almost at the place to where enough is enough? And you know, what's in me is just pouring out because I've had enough. Things that make you go, that right there. Um, let's see if I can get back on track. If I'm not mistaken, what brought on those emotions was me speaking about the time before my mental health crisis that I had to deal with a situation to where enough was enough. And I really don't want to go back to that, but I'm trying to find my way back into a different kind of enlightenment uh, for the podcast this evening. So y'all give me a moment while I get my ish together. Cause goddamn it, this is not what I expected. But we are here. Yeah, I'm back. I hope my eyeliner ain't running because I did not wipe my eye. Ooh wee. Um, yeah, so I mentioned earlier that there are different scenarios in life to where you get to a point to where enough is enough. Um, Different relationships. It can be romantic relationships. It can be sibling relationships. It can be working relationships, um, friendships. Uh, did I mention siblings? Did I mention parents? Did I mention children? That's deep, y'all. If you ever get to a point to where there's no peace dealing with a parent, like truly none at all, and you cringe when you think about them, or a sibling or your own child, like, oh my gosh, do y'all know how I'm not sure if I want to use the word devastating, but how intense that is. For lack of better words, I'm going to go with intense. To get to a point to where you just have to react because enough truly has been enough. I don't know if anybody has ever had to cut somebody off. And what was the reason you had to do it? But man, it's one of those things to where, and most of the times, from my own personal experience, when it gets to that point, you've gotten a little bit of peace to where for you to act there's a strength in it. You no longer feel defeated by the situation and the circumstance. um it's like because enough is enough, everything else has washed away. It's like this clean state. You can see clearly, you can think clearly, you feel more pure in your thoughts. That's a divine place to be. Because it's the opposite side of this is too much and I've had enough and this is too heavy and I can't carry it anymore and it's such a burden. So when you've truly laid that burden down and enough is enough, it's like a breath of fresh air. You can breathe clear and free and it's like I'm cool now. I'm good. And there may be moments after that to where it's like, damn, I really had to do that. And you feel the effects of it, little aftershocks, so to speak. But mostly, you got that peace because you did what needed to be done. Like it was automatic. You're no longer in fight or flight mode. You're no longer in survival mode, but you are living. That's worth taking a drink to. I'm gonna take a drink to that. Not being in survival mode and fight or flight. This water good to me, y'all. Um, I'ma need a refill. Let's see. Um, any other? Does anybody have um? What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, um, an example of when enough is enough. Have you ever had? Have you ever been to the point to where is enough? How did that make you feel? What did you do? How did you react? How did you get to a point to where um you wasn't burdened, if you was burdened by enough being enough? Like, have you ever been there and it wasn't burdensome? It was just like, okay, depending on what your personality type or your mental state of mind, it's just like, I'm cool, is enough, so I got to dip. But I'm not heartbroken. I didn't lose any sleep. I didn't lose any peace. I ain't shed no tears. I would love to talk to you because people like that are interesting. Everybody ain't able. I can promise you that. So you are a rare one if you can experience those type of things and then not take away your peace, or it don't become burdensome. That is a beautiful thing. So kudos to you if that is a part of your story or your experience in life, and you didn't have to be burdened. Like 100. I'm not sure how many people are in the chat this afternoon, but for those of you who are watching, for those of you who have came and gone and may come again, for those of you guys that will catch this later, remember the Galaxy Venus loves you. It's remember and know that it is okay to be fed up, because that means, well, in my opinion, that your heart space is big enough to where you just take your time. And ain't nothing wrong with taking your time. It's okay to be fed up. It's okay that enough is enough. And it is also okay to do something about enough being enough. You feel me? What else can I say regarding that topic? I may be all out of words, y'all. I don't know where to go from here. I've shared my little tears. I don't want to share no more. She don't want to do that. But it is always a pleasure to be here with you guys. We are going to continue week by week, sharing with one another, pouring into one another, loving on one another, laughing with one another, crying with one another. What we not gonna do is debate and argue with one another, because we don't do that. Not here on the Sensual Eccentric podcast. No, we're gonna keep it classy, we're gonna keep it mature, we're gonna keep it cute. Well, as cute as we can be, when we ain't crying. Let me see if I can. Did any eyeliner? See, I'm not afraid to be myself on camera. I just wipe my eyes. They probably look crazy as hell. But if anybody is not going to come up and say anything, we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because I'm at the point now to where enough has been enough in this episode. What more can we say? I, I don't know. Y'all got something to say? Is enough enough? Is it time to get the heck on up out of here? Pack it up. Are we done? Has it been a wrap? See, If you watch from the beginning and you stay from beginning to end, y'all will know how funny that is. It came around full circle. Let me do my final thoughts. Enough is enough. When I was hoping I would see you, Dark Lake. Greetings, beloved. Okay, I'll give you a moment. I won't give my final thoughts right now. Um, no pressure though. You don't have to come up. I'll give you a few moments to get on. Oh, come on in the room. Come on in the room. See, that's that old time stuff. I don't look. That just poured up out of me. It's good to see you, though. I don't know if you're still coming up or if there are complications, but I'm going to give you a few more moments. And if I don't see you pop up, I am going to give my final thoughts and we're going to get the heck up out of here. Okay. Final thoughts coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enough is enough. When I could be, I don't know if this is redundant to say, when you've had enough, and you know you've had enough if you have no more tears left to cry. You've gone from not having peace to you can breathe easily. It's like, okay, I'm just ready to do what needs to be done. And those things are okay. I'm gonna pause on my final thoughts because Dark Lake has joined the panel. Welcome, my brother. It is good to see you, darling. How you feeling?
Hey, Galaxy Venus, what's good? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm all right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sorry that I apologize for not being cammed up at the moment. I can't cam up. When I'm on your show next time, I'll make sure I'll cam up though. So
It's all good. You are sharing space. Your energy is, see, with me, everything matters. No thing is a small thing that's significant. And just you being in the chat, even if you don't join the panel, you are sharing space here with me, giving me your time and your energy. Like,
hey, I like the way you put that. That's cool.
yeah, so no apologies necessary. Look, you could have been anywhere doing anything, but you're sharing time and space. That's everything. Everybody don't always have something to say. Sometimes someone's presence is all that's needed to know that somebody is there.
Facts. What's up, Braxton? For whatever reason, I can hear myself. There's like a little echo. Oh, it's gone now. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah, so Galaxy,
I have to mute myself when you're talking. So and the echo is somewhere on my end for whatever reason. So I'm getting ready to go ahead and mute so you can go ahead and share your thoughts.
Cool. Yeah, so I don't know how relevant like my perspective is on what you were going to close on. But my thing is, like, I experienced something recently where I was like, my name was being assaulted, like dragged in the mud, right? And it was a complete lie and a whole slander campaign on me and my family, right? The thing about it is, when that was happening, enough was enough a long time ago. I think that we all feel like that, like enough is enough, but yeah, enough was enough like 2 years ago. You feel me? So it's like, in that moment, I was unable to literally do anything about it because I was in the process of a transitional process. So I couldn't respond. And at first, in the current moment, Galaxy, it felt bad. I was like, wow, I can't respond to these people or to this situation. But then, as time went by, I realized that, enough being enough was something that wasn't of my concern. That was something that was for the higher powers, for the universe, for karma to be worried, to be concerned with. I didn't have that understanding until after the fact. So I feel like, just in that lesson that I learned, like sometimes we're not really supposed to do anything about it because it would like exhaust our energy, exhaust our spirit. It would distract us from the purpose that God and the universe wants us to pursue, the purpose that it wants us to pursue. And sometimes when we think enough is enough, it's like, yeah, we're actually right. But at the same time, it's kind of like we can't be distracted into exerting energy into toxicity when that's not what our true purpose is supposed to be, in my opinion. And I didn't realize that until after I realized I didn't have to exert any energy responding to those people or responding to that situation. So today, presently, I see it as like a major blessing. It was literally like a blessing in disguise. It felt like my hands were tied and I have this situation in my personal life where I can't respond. So it felt like my hands were tied. But then after, I was like, wow, by not responding, God was actually building me up, and I wasn't even aware of it at the time. So yeah, I hope that's something I wanted to share about my experience and about the topic of enough is enough. So hopefully that related.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to come up and share and be here to share that because that is a very important aspect that I didn't think of previously tonight. But there are times where it's not worth saying something when enough is enough. It reminds me of, I had said earlier, sometimes you react and you do what needs to be done. And in that scenario, doing what needs to be done was keeping your mouth closed, staying silent, and allowing things to be taken care of divinely and organically. That is that's a major thing because like you mentioned, enough was enough 2 years ago, yet and still you had to endure a couple of more years of silence. So I think about how that would pertain to, a relationship or being in the workforce. If, enough is enough, but you can't move right now. So you got to sit in silence and be at peace with being still. That's deep. Let's hear
Ain't
from
that being black? Hey, ain't that being black?
There is so much to be said there. Let's welcome 100 Watts to the panel. What's up? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for sharing space with us. We are here on the Sensual, Eccentric podcast, episode 8, where the topic is, when is enough enough? How you doing, my brother?
How you doing, 100 Watts? What's good, bro?
Look, I'm alive and I got a job, so I'm good. I've been listening. I didn't catch the entire episode, but I've been listening for a while. And for somebody with my thought process, I really always believe that enough is only ever enough when you decide it is. Like, I heard you giving the example of like enough is enough when you have no more tears, and like I think that that's cool to say, but and then it just now you gave the example of relationships versus workforce. Like, plenty of us as grown adults have been at a job where, you lucky I can't leave this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, we for some reason established in our mind enough is enough at this job, but you still get up every day and go to that same job. So is enough really enough? You know what I'm saying? Enough is only ever enough when you decide, when you finally make the decision, when you go in and you say, all right, I'm giving y'all my 2-week notice. That's when you finally decided it was enough. If you're in a relationship with somebody and something is happening and you stick around for another 2 years, well, you never decided that enough was enough. Even if you are in a situation where you have to be silent and you just have to deal with it and go through it and all those other kinds of things, if you're still deciding that your silence is worth less than what you're going through, then you haven't decided that enough is enough. The moment that you decide that this is it and I'm leaving, that's when you decided that it's enough. The I haven't cried. I've cried more tears than I can count. The my heart can't hurt no more. All of that is cool and it's nice, and I think it's a side effect of knowing that enough is enough. But you never really decide that enough is enough until you leave, because I think a great thing is when you compare the bullshit relationships you've been in versus the people you've cut off for nothing. For some reason, someone at your job, you decided enough was enough when they made you uncomfortable one time. But for some reason, your boyfriend gets to cheat on you 6 times and you still ain't decided enough is enough yet. I wrap it up and I land with saying that enough is only enough when you actually decide that it is and make an action to change what's happening. Because you finding these coping mechanisms is doing nothing for you.
Thank you for reiterating that. I actually did speak about that. I spoke about, the difference between being fed up and when enough truly is enough. We can be fed up with some shit. And an aspect of being fed up is when you don't, when you crying all the time, when you don't have any peace, when you're heartbroken, when you just cringe at the thought of something. But to act, to truly move when it's just automatic action, that's when enough truly is enough. You just do. You don't think, you don't say, you just do what needs to be done, period. So thank you for reiterating that. I appreciate you. We have another panelist. Miss Chocolate Earth has joined the panel. Hey, love, thank you for sharing space. It's so good to see you here. How are you, darling?
How are you? I'm glad to see your beautiful face. I try to catch you. And I was like, oh, and shout out to the gentleman on the panel as well. Hello, Dark Lake.
Hey, Chocolate. What's good?
Hey. So to stay on task, when enough is enough, I can personally say I know exactly what that feels like. Now, and not just within a relationship, but with yourself. Because sometimes you just get enough of you. Sometimes it's just you. There's no one else around. And your brain is pushing you to a place of misunderstanding and confusion, because you can do that to yourself. And to what 100 Watt said, I do agree that it really is about choice in the circumstance. However, choice can be hard to obtain if you feel stuck or you feel like that choice will then lead to something worse. Fear keeps us with the enough is enough. Fear keeps us in that place where we stay in those relationships, stay in those jobs, stay in a lifestyle. So for me, I knew that I didn't want to it's staying into a relationship, I didn't want to just be with a man because he was a man. I wanted someone with some substance. I wanted the things that I offer. And I had to tell myself the truth. It's time to stop because you ain't found it yet. And so before I get battered and bruised and angry, I'd rather just stop, ease back, work on me, and step back in and let's see what happens. But that would be my enough is enough. Thank y'all.
I appreciate y'all. So when y'all are talking, I have to mute. I can't stay unmuted when y'all talking because there's an echo. And even when I'm speaking, it's like thunderstorming here in Chicago.
Can I ask
So
you a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have YouTube in the background?
What do you mean?
Like is YouTube open?
You know what? Let me check.
Okay, because if it is, you just pause that or mute that and it just focus on the StreamYard feed. And because a lot of times that's where the echo be coming from, because people sometimes have StreamYard and YouTube open at the same time, and the echo is coming from YouTube. That's just a guess that I have. So I don't want to interrupt your show about that.
No, you're being helpful. I appreciate that. So let me ask this. I came directly to the stream from the join link. So would that have YouTube open if I came straight to it from the link?
From the channel, from the page channel? Like you went to the channel and they clicked the link?
That's just your smart.
No, the link was sent to me and I clicked on the link and came here from there.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It could be, to what Dark Leg said. Check and see if that is open as well, because it just sounds like you have a echo, like it's playing somewhere else.
Right. I think that if you instead of joining via the link, if you opened your own StreamYard, like if you had access to the actual StreamYard and then you started the show from within StreamYard, rather than just clicking the link to join it, then that echo will be gone. Because the extra audio, I think, is coming from the YouTube broadcast. I think that's what's happening.
I will see about that on next week. And also, I don't know if it makes a difference, like if you're on your phone, if the phone usually gives feedback if you're not on a laptop or a desktop. Because I'm only working with my phone here.
You're doing just fine.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. What I'll do is I'll look it up and then I'll like, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I'll DM you what and Mr. Bessel, he'll know too. So yeah.
Getting back to what Chocolate had said, fear keeping us in things when we've been fed up. Not only that, I think a lack of self-love and discipline and sometimes wisdom will keep us held hostage in the situation also. But I can also relate, and thank you for sharing this. I had shared also when it comes to yourself personally, that's something that you can be fed up with. That enough is enough when it comes to you personally in your life, or something pertaining to your life, or some decisions that you make, a certain way that you live, or the way that your mind operates. And that's a very big deal, because not too many people deal with themselves enough, and haven't gotten to a place to where enough is enough in their personal lives. And that's why they don't make decisions to do things, to make things differently. And so that is a major issue in general, with people being fed up or not getting to the place to where enough is enough, because we don't make the necessary changes that we need to. I'll land there.
Agreed.
Well, yeah, I would like to add to that real quick because I think what you just said, Galaxy, speaks to 100 Watts' point. And the thing is that, what 100 Watts was really talking about was accountability and responsibility. And the thing about it is, when you are autonomous, um, you have the ability to live your life as an individual, make your own decisions. And, a lot of freedom comes with that. But the other side of it, the bitter side of it, is that if you do that, if you do have that autonomy and that freedom to be an individual, responsibility comes with that as well. So just like it's up to you to kind of, prepare for your life and you have the freedom to build it the way you want, it's also up to you to like do the introspection and realize where your own faults are as well. And it's up to you to fix that or to develop the skills to remedy that. And that's the part that I think, I don't know if it's laziness or I don't know if it's just all of human nature, that has a hard time grappling with that realization. So it's kind of like, when 100 Watts says, enough is enough when you believe it is, and then you put forth the action that exemplifies it being enough. If you get to a point to where it's like 10 years, 15 years goes by and finally you decide enough is enough, what that means is that like you weren't accepting the responsibility within yourself to change that, and yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
I'm glad you said that because as you were speaking, what came to me was sometimes people don't want enough to be enough. And that's why they don't move. They want something to be different, or they're expecting something to be different. They're not operating in wisdom, knowing that this is not going to change because of the desires of their heart. Just because we desire something doesn't mean that's the reality of what's going to happen. And so we don't want enough to be enough. I don't want to be fed up, because if it gets to a point to where enough is truly enough, then I'm going to have to make a decision. I'm going to have to be responsible, as you guys say, and move forward and react and do something. So I don't think sometimes people want enough to be enough. They just like they're not trying to get to that point because they don't want to make that decision. They don't want to do what's necessary.
That's deep.
I'm
do.
fun.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm listening to y'all right now, and something that I'm thinking about is fucking hilarious to me is that people don't realize how vulnerable they make themselves when they tell people that they've had enough and stick into something, right? Like I'm thinking about someone who's in a relationship where they've said to their friend, enough is enough, I can't do this anymore. But you continue to go back to that relationship, right? So now your friend is looking at you and is like, oh, well, you just let people take advantage of you however they feel like it. So now your friends are taking advantage of you. And then like even with work, like your coworkers are listening to you complain about what you got going on at home, but you still take your stupid ass back to that same house. Okay, cool. Well, I can give her the extra work and not pay her for it because she already let people just walk all over her. Cool. I just like when you start speaking that I had enough and enough is enough and you not making any actions about it, like you don't even understand how vulnerable you make yourself to everything around you. Like I'm listening to y'all.
It's basically showing people that I don't mind being abused. Like, go ahead and use me, and I'm not gonna do anything.
Make yourself a target. Yeah.
Use me. Suck all of the life force out of me. You take every bit of peace and joy I have in me. Because for some reason, when I'm around you, your life is easier and you're happier and things go easier when I'm around you, but you see that I'm suffering. Just suck all of that fucking life force out of me. Oh my God. Yeah, this enough is enough shit, man. Y'all better toughen up.
If you don't mind, I'd like to just add to that. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Vulnerability is a strength. Because if you are able to tell yourself the truth, then nothing nobody can say to you will bother you. No one can dictate to you what you gonna do about you. To say to a person is a little unfair because you're not standing in their shoes. And unless you're gonna allow yourself to stand in their shoes, to sit up and judge people and go, well, you stupid because you still stayed is unfair. And this is the reason why a lot of folks stay. Fear of being rejected, fear of having somebody judge them, fear of all of those things. But I will tell you personally, and I'm only using because I don't want to generalize. When I became vulnerable, I have been the strongest version of me that I have ever been in my life. There is nothing anyone can do to me. With anything that has happened to me, I'm still here. So if you worried about whether or not vulnerability is gonna cause you, I can't control what you do with my vulnerability, but I can control how I react to you. And when you don't have the ability to do that, you don't love yourself enough, you don't stand up for yourself enough. Yes, that's men and women both. Because you can get walked over at any level of life. But to say that if I vent to someone and I say, look, I'm getting close, this is it. If you truly my friend, then you're not gonna turn around and look at me like I'm crazy if I have to be in it just a little while longer and then get out. We can't do because that pushes people away. They don't want to share. And me being a true crime buff, I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. That is probably the closest thing you could get to seeing how people will twist this all up in their brain about how they're supposed to live their life in this society when nobody is forcing you to do that. It's not like they raise us to be picked and you got to go over here. This your job, this your husband, this your wife. No, we make these steps, but other people are also involved. We don't do nothing alone. Nothing. Because if don't nobody create an opportunity, you don't have a job. If don't nobody build a house, you don't have nowhere to stay. Like we have to stop kicking each other and going, oh, well, you this and you that because you ain't done X, Y, and Z. You have no idea the fight that they got going on in their brain. And I land right there.
Let me say this, Chocolate. I 100% agree with what you said. And if I'm not mistaken, today is Sunday. It was Wednesday. I was saying this on a Facebook Live broadcasting because both of those two perceptions or that's not the word, objectives came up. Um, People talking a certain way about you because of what you vented or spoke about. But where I agree with you is your friends are not going to judge you. They understand your plight. They get who you are, and even though you're feeling a certain way, that you're not ready to walk away or to move or to make a decision. The thing is, going back to what 100 Watts says, we don't always have just people that are our friends around us that we are talking to. Some people got people that ain't got their true best interest at heart around them. Sometimes we'll talk and vent to whoever will pay a little bit of attention or seem like they're listening. So there are people that will judge and will talk about you behind your back and try to take advantage of their perception of what they think you are because of what you vented about. But what you said, as far as a friend, no, a real friend is not going to judge you and use your vulnerability, as you said, against you. I'll land there.
Well,
think I
interesting,
think
everybody. Can y'all hear
Hey,
me?
Mr.
I'm
Best.
here. Oh, what's up, y'all?
Hey.
Um, I mm, I think that as I talk about this vulnerability thing, I think that when you are vulnerable, that's a sign of greatness. You know what I mean? When you're able to be vulnerable to the point where you might be taken advantage of. It might happen, right? That's just a rolling of the dice, right? And yes, you do want to have discernment with who you're being vulnerable with. So I totally agree. But but yeah, being vulnerable, you do have to pick and choose who you want to be vulnerable with. They can't use it against you, as Andrew Watts was saying. But also, you do want to have a level of vulnerability because that can actually help someone, or that actually is a way for you to release a lot of your stress and stressors and things of that nature. Um, but y'all land there. Chocolate done stole a lot of my answers anyway, so I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
go
just yeah,
ahead.
no,
How
I want
you
to say
gonna
the
say that?
chocolate.
You know what,
Well,
sir?
Yeah, no, I
let,
want
let
to
me say this real quickly, guys. Give me one moment, please. Going back to what Chocolate said, there for me personally, there is really a strength in vulnerability. The thing is, you have to be self aware in your vulnerability and you have to be mature in your vulnerability. If you are not self aware and mature, then yeah, you will get eaten the fuck alive by a apex predator. They're going to stomp all over your behind. But
Thank you. They can smell you.
when there is an awareness and a maturity, I'll use myself as an example, and how I got vulnerable. I was vulnerable and emotional earlier in the podcast. Like, ain't nobody gonna be able to use that against me. Like, how? I would love to see them try. Cause you think I'm weak because I cried on camera. Try me if you want to and see what's gonna happen. But that's because I'm self-aware and I'm mature. But there are people that are vulnerable and they haven't done the self-work, and they're just emotional and they don't know why they're emotional, and they just have so much going on to where they just haven't done the self-work to really having with the wisdom and understanding to know why they operate, and why they operate the way that they are, or what made them emotional at that moment. There was a time in my life where I was that person. I was emotional, I was crying, I didn't know what the hell was wrong. I was just a touchy feely sad ass person all the goddamn time. Any fucking thing would make me cry. But let's hear from 100 watts. What that was you, 100 watts, that wanted to speak, right? Share your thoughts,
Yeah.
brother.
I think I don't disagree with anything that was said. Having a level of vulnerability is important. Like my mom, like most of us, we all had a parent that would tell us a closed mouth never gets fed. So you holding shit in and keeping it to yourself, and not asking questions or being able to get other people's opinion, that you always gonna be stuck. So we all agree on that point. I think the difference is probably what you were just explaining, the maturity, because even though, like, I know for most people, whenever they're being vulnerable, there's this emotional investment that's in that, right? So when you choose to tell someone something about you personally, or share something about your personal life with someone, there's like this emotional investment that's there, where it's like, I'm being vulnerable with you, don't judge me. I'm being vulnerable with you. Don't make me feel bad about what I'm sharing with you. And I think that emotional investment is what fucks people up. That's what gets you in this space where you don't want to share, because you're too worried about what you're going to receive from this vulnerability, rather than looking at it as how you can grow from it. Because as in the maturity that you're speaking of, the vulnerability that you spoke to about crying on camera, there's something you learned about speaking on the topic you were speaking of in order for you to cry, which created a thought process for you to build on something. There's a maturity that's in that, but not everyone has that. A lot of people take that vulnerability and it puts them in this place of weakness, because they want to feel better about their vulnerable moment. They want someone to make them feel better about whatever bullshit they're sharing. And I'm saying bullshit on purpose because you need to know that the world don't give a fuck about your vulnerability. The world don't care about you sharing your heart. In general, the world doesn't. But as Mr. Best said, that discernment, when you get to have that understanding and that maturity to know that there are certain rooms, there are certain spaces, there are certain times where you have to have these moments to be vulnerable. Just don't let that shit be a weakness. Like, we're still in this place where if you share something, you say, man, I'm tired of it. I can't do it no more. It's running me dry. But I'm watching you every day do this same thing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of you too, dog. I'm not saying that for me, but for the world. They're going to take advantage of you.
Yeah, can I add to that real quick?
Give me 1 second. I want to respond to each individual after they say something, and then we'll go to the next panelist that wants to expound. When you were saying that, what came to me was there's a difference between vulnerability and neediness. Some people are emotionally needy, and that makes them vulnerable to being mistreated and abused because they're needy in their emotionalism. But when you have emotional maturity, you being vulnerable is a choice. You don't make yourself vulnerable. There's power in your vulnerability. So to reiterate and make it plain, and I'll land here, is you can be emotionally needy, which makes you vulnerable, or you can be emotionally vulnerable and have power and strength in that vulnerability. Dark Lake, let's get it.
Yeah, so I think that this one topic could be kind of split up into like 10 shows, to be honest. The thing is that I just didn't want Chocolate to misunderstand what me and 100 Watts was saying, because I think that there's a lot of validity to what Chocolate was saying too. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because I believe that vulnerability is a strength. And not only is it a strength for yourself, but it's also a strength for other people who are not as brave as you, right, to be vulnerable. Because when the truth is that all of us on the panel, whether we show our face or not, whatever, we are presenting our vulnerability by just talking here. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. On a subconscious level, there is something about the world or society or people or whatever that we see is an issue, whether that's with us or them or society itself, whatever. But we're sort of subliminally speaking about something that hurt us or something that we see as an issue, which is the motivation for us being on panels speaking. And the thing is that what I wasn't aware of is the toxic individuals that 100 Watts is referencing, who will actually view someone's vulnerability, and instead of confiding in the person and supporting the person, they are predatory, right? And that's what me and 100 Watts, I think, are trying to cue the panel in on. And what I wasn't aware of when I first started my journey on YouTube, right? Because I was like the most vulnerable. But I knew that on a conscious level, and I didn't care. I just knew that I had these things in my heart I needed to say, so I'm gonna say them, and I don't give a damn what somebody think, right? But what I wasn't aware of before was that it doesn't matter if there's one person in the chat right now. After the show is uploaded after streaming, right? There are groups of people, different types of people, who will actually see this conversation as a distraction from toxicity that they want to partake in. It doesn't matter if just one person watches it. Oh, shoot. That dude 100 Watts got me figured out. Damn. Now, if there's more 100 Watts on more panels talking to people about how we're predatory and how we take advantage of vulnerable people, then our chances of taking advantage of them is going to decline. That's the type of evil that's existing in the world right now. And that's what me and 100 Watts means, Chocolate, when we say that vulnerability can, if it's not regulated, and if you don't do the introspection to know when enough is enough and when to act on it, you become prey to those toxic individuals. That's what we're talking about. Not that vulnerability itself is shameful or that it's not an attribute. It's just that as you progress and you gain maturity and you gain experience, you are aware of how some people view vulnerability. And that's what I think that we're trying to say. Yeah.
I get that, but that's why I iterated that there's a difference between being vulnerable and being needy. Go ahead, hon. Are you there?
Oh no, that
Chocolate?
wasn't me.
I just want to clear up something. I appreciate it, Dark Lake, but I didn't misunderstand anything you gentlemen were saying. I was sharing the fact that this is a layered conversation. So that's why I brought in what I was talking about. It is layered to even your own point. I don't know what I said that made you think I didn't understand what you and 100 Watt was saying. I understand that not just from because of me alone, but I have worked with people in many different facets. I have seen people in their worst and at their best in the career path that I decided to take. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to know what other people's lives were like. So that whatever judgment I am making, because we all judge, like that it's the level of judgment. If it's like if 100 Watts tell me, you know what, I'm sad and lonely and I really want to get laid. And then I say to him, "Ugh, that's nasty," and hang up the phone. That's not cool, right? I'm supposed to be his friend. I'm not saying I'm gonna hook him up with somebody, but what I'm saying is I'll be like, man, I get
You
it.
can't hook him up with somebody? Yeah. No, I was playing. Go ahead.
I know a lot of women.
100 Watts. I'm just playing, bro. I'm playing, bro. I know you ain't got no problems. Go ahead, Chocolate. Sorry.
I know a lot of good women. That's all I'm saying. Nah, you good. You good. And I'm glad you brought that up because that goes into it has been a year of research for my dating site and testing it out in different levels of what people really need or want out here. Because there is. People want to be vulnerable. We have been taught, especially in the Black community, and that men aren't supposed to cry. Black women are supposed to take their pain in silence and keep pushing. Yes, now we're incorporated with other societies because the internet has brought us all together. And what we realize is that we're all human and we all doing the same thing. But when it comes down to the layers of the conversation, oh yeah, I'm very familiar with that. There's a conversation of vulnerability amongst Black men. Black men aren't as vulnerable as Black women are with each other. We will talk to each other. We'll talk to a co-worker, girl, what you going through? Okay. I can't tell you how many times somebody done pulled me off somewhere in an office or pulled me off somewhere because they want to talk. And I'd be like, why me? Why you pick me? Like, what you gonna talk to me for? But in all honesty, it is a privilege and I feel honored that I've been able to see into other people's lives because it definitely has made me a stronger person.
So I want to
understand that. A man.
My apologies, sweetheart.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm done.
No,
I
I speak too fast because my brain be moving. I don't like to interrupt people when they talk, and so I want to make sure that you have finished your thoughts before I head into mine.
Go ahead, sweetheart. I got it. You go ahead.
So I want to ask the panelists, starting with you, then going to Mr. Best, then 100 Watts, and then me. We're gonna go around the square like that. When was the last time that enough was enough for you? Take us through that process, how you got to that point, and how you ended enough being enough, if you don't mind sharing.
I say let the men's just go first.
I asked you to go
Well,
first. If you don't want to go first, then
Oh,
say
did you?
I'll
I didn't know
pass.
you asked me. I'm sorry. No. I did. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to go around the square.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. So I will say this. Um, I'll use my last relationship. This is where my enough was enough as far as like trying to prove myself to the men in my life that I am this woman. I am this amazing black woman. I cook, I clean, I smell good, not bad to look at. I'm thinking I'm doing everything within this relationship, but the truth was it was hollow because I was all doing all this work. And he didn't care nothing about what I was doing. He wasn't worried about nothing I was doing over there. He the enough for me was when he came home from work and I had cooked and you know the all of the accoutrements of wanting to make sure that when somebody come home they're comfortable. And he looked at me and said, "Oh, I see you, Obama." And I kind of stepped back like, "Wait a minute, hold on. Is you saying I'm campaigning? I'm campaigning
Thank you for clearing that up because I didn't
for
know what the hell
real."
that meant, but I was just like, what the fuck? Okay,
I said,
but
"Okay, yeah, yes, yeah." Um, and then I guess it kind of was that moment where I was like, you know what, I'm done doing this to myself. I'm done trying to be some type of clap and seal for they don't want that. Even though they agreed in the beginning, because I did clearly say and this was at a time where I wanted to get married. I was looking for a partner. And he wasted a year of my life knowing this is not what his goal was, but benefited from how I treated him. And it had happened one too many times for me. So it was a hard look in the mirror at myself to go, if I'm gonna do all this clapping and jumping around and being this person cheerleader, I'm just gonna do it for myself. Because the type of person that will appreciate it, he ain't in my life yet. And that's okay. And from that moment,
Chocolate, if
it
you have
wasn't
your television on, can you mute your television or pause it? Because if when we do clips, I don't want the television in the background doing the clips that we may do the clips of. If you can do that for me, please,
I
because it's
apologize.
I
TV on. That was my sister. She was walking by. I apologize.
finish your thought, love. Thank you so much for sharing.
But no. I'm done. I had to. That's what I did. It wasn't that long before I left. I packed my stuff up and I left. No words, no nothing. Because what was there left to say?
And see, that's what we was talking about. Like, enough truly was enough because you just acted. You did what needed to be done. You got the heck up out of there. That's it. That's all. Stick a fork. It's done. Wrap this shit up. Let's go. That's
And I've
what's
been saying
up. Like,
ever And I enjoy it. I ain't gonna lie, it's too many of y'all out here. I'm just getting a little taste of the flavors right now. But y'all got it. Go ahead. I'm done. Thank you.
100 watts. If you don't mind sharing, has there ever been a time in your life when enough was enough? If so, when was the last time? And walk us through that process. And what was that like for you? If you don't mind sharing. You muted, sugar.
You hear me? Hear me now? All right, we about to change this then. We about to change this then. I'm working to see if you can still hear me.
You live and in color. We can hear you.
All right, you can hear me now.
And now you're gone. So we are going to go. Well, let me welcome a new panelist has joined us. Is that Junior? Do I see JR down there? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining the panel. I don't know if I've ever seen you here doing one of my streams. So this may be my first interaction with you. I'm excited about that. I love my newbies. You may not be new to anybody here, but you are new to me. So I love my newbies and my reoccurring people. I appreciate y'all so much. This is the Sensual Eccentric podcast, episode 8, where the topic is when is enough enough. I'm so excited to hear from you. First, we are going to hear from Mr. Best, and then we're going to hear your thoughts immediately following his. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Best, are you there? You done took a break on us. Ain't no telling what he didn't have to do real quick. Okay, so we are going to go to Junior. How you doing, darling? Has there ever been a time in your life when enough was enough? What was that? What was that like for you? Walk us through it, and tell us about your journey of, enough being enough. If you don't mind sharing. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Could you rephrase the question, please? Like, could you put that in a nutshell? What exactly are you saying?
Has there ever been a time in your life when enough was enough? If it was, when was the last time enough was enough? And walk us through that journey.
Enough being enough. So I would have to go with, and just make sure I got all my settings right. All right, better. I would say enough has been enough. Definitely during a time where you realize you're the only one that's still putting forth the effort. All right, so we all know that it takes two. Like, just as much as we say it takes two to make a baby, it takes two to keep love going, right? It takes two to keep whatever relationship in whatever form or fashion that you all have going. I can't make you like us. That's not something I'm capable of doing. The only thing that I can do is I can go ahead and be my part, and then you can be your part, and we put that together and we see what we got going on with it. But I digress. My mic is muted.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for joining us. Am I correct that you have changed your name? Because it looks like Junior up there, but maybe I'm not seeing clearly because these words are small as hell. Does it say Junior?
It does say JR.
Okay,
Yes.
right on. I just want to make sure that I am calling people by their correct names because I don't like nobody getting my damn name wrong.
Okay.
Miss the Best, are you there, darling? You back with us? Okay, he is not. We are coming upon 90 minutes in the podcast. And on the subject of enough being enough, it's time to wrap this shit up. Enough is enough, damn it. What more can we say? So we're going to do what needs to be done. We're going to get the heck up out of here. Let's give our final thoughts. We are going to go with let's do the square. Let's do Junior. Let's do Chocolate. Mr. Best, if he ain't off somewhere eating or playing a game or whatever he done took a break to do while he done left us stranded and abandoned. And then I'll give mine. And we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. Thank y'all again for being here. This is the Sensual Eccentric Podcast, episode 8. Enough has been enough.
You guys have a great evening. Respect to you all.
Well, that's a mic drop right there. Like, short and to the point. Hey, what? Look, he got the heck on up out of here, didn't he? Like,
well, we at the end.
He said peace and respect.
Hair grease.
What's your final thoughts, darling?
My. I just want to say congrats to you. Salute to you. Thank you for coming out here, doing your show, being a face, because we need you. We need you. These are like, I think about it like little, imagine like club, right? Club popping is what I attribute to how we go from panel to panel out here. And that is because it is our new social standard, so to speak. So I want to just say, keep it pushing. I love it. Please. And as many times I can come, at least support or come by, like it. However, I still want to give from one sister who to another. Keep doing it, please. Because we need you. All of us. All right, I'm done being vulnerable.
Okay,
you done, and I'm just about getting started. So I want to say thank you so much for that. I needed to hear that because it's a struggle being consistent because I don't like routines. I don't do well with routines. I get bored easily. So for me to come every single week, the same time, and give my energy and be consistent, baby, I struggle every single week. I be like, I don't want to do this. I mean, I do, but it be pulling at me. So thank you for your encouragement. I appreciate that. So it means more than I have the words and the vocabulary to express. Now I got to remember that, out of all the clubs that people can come to, they done paid their fee to come to my club for a little while. Ooh, y'all are fucking awesome.
Turn up. No one has to. And that's, hold on, y'all. Hold on real quick. The thing about it is when you are dealing with it, into what Dark Lake had said about us being, even though we're behind the avatars or we on camera, we're being vulnerable anyway. This is vulnerable.
Right, because we're here sharing our thoughts. And like, everybody not going to agree with how the fuck we feel.
Come on. And I don't care. So I say, there's another club for you to go to. This message may not be for you. And that's all right. And I think that is where we miss when we want to change people. This ain't you. It's all right if it ain't you. But like I said, I will always try to take the opportunity to uplift another woman, to uplift another sister. This is not easy. It's not easy. And it's not a lot of us out here on the front run. So, baby, keep doing it. I'll be around whispering and talking and doing. Much love to you.
All in divine time. And I knew I was gonna see you sooner or later.
We was gonna see each other.
For sure.
I want to say this before I go. I think about you. I was thinking about you for a while because I remember me and you talked and you said you are the queen of chaos. And at first, I was like, "What she mean? I'm horrible. What's that mean?" And I talked to my sister, and I was like, "Okay, I get it. I completely understand why you put it that way because I am, and I now proudly understand it."
You know what, Chocolate? You like a tornado. You come and you get the blowing through and shit gets shook up a little bit. But at the same time, when we think about winds clear out shit. You get a forceful ass wind. Let's say you got some trash in the yard or some goddamn cups or some leaves. Ain't the wind gonna blow that shit away? Look, I'm done. Look, I ain't trying to preach.
We're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. But yes, you get it, and I get it, and we ain't never touched each other in that way. I don't know how that sounds horrible, but the way what I was saying is in like our personal lives, we not seeing each other every day. So it does it when I get that feeling, like I connect. And like I said, I always try to come by, like it. If I miss y'all, I try to say something, because that's my boy Soap. That's my boy. But to you, sis, like I said, I gotta jump off too. Y'all had a great one. Thank you for letting me up. And I see you. All right, Miss.
All right, darling. And until we meet again in the club, goddammit, and play our music loud like we fucking want to.
Hello. No. Did you get that new T.I. joint though? It's got the aunties out here. Okay, I'm one of them. All right, there. We gonna go. Okay, bye.
I was up at 3:00 this morning blasting that goddamn song. Like I was in there, had me a little drink. Okay, enough is enough about that. Mr. Bass, what's your final thoughts, darling? Are you back?
Yes,
holla at me.
Okay. Yeah, man. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Good night, man. For real. I'm gonna do the Russell Simmons for y'all. And yeah, that's really about it. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Thank you for supporting my sister and supporting us. And yeah, later, y'all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your final thoughts. I'm going to do some reiterating and try to remember everything. So many great points, as usual, have been brought to the forefront tonight. My favorite and the one that stuck out to me the most was Dark Lake's first comment, to where there was a situation he had and enough was enough, but he just had to be still and sit in silence because of the severity of the situation. Now he mentioned, and because he mentioned, I don't mind repeating it, but he mentioned there was a situation to where his name and his family's name was being slaughtered with some untruths. I cannot imagine, especially because for so long I didn't speak my truth and I didn't have a voice, and I didn't really start taking up for myself until I was 40 years of age, because my throat chakra was closed. I could not speak up for myself. So to be in a situation to where the best thing to do is to keep your mouth closed and let nature take its course, let God and the universe and the ancestors and the spirit guides do what needs to be done and work on your behalf, baby. Even when enough is enough, you gotta wait on spirit, child. So my final thoughts are that was one of my favorite parts of the episode, the podcast tonight. And my other favorite was from Chocolate Earth when she said there is a strength in being vulnerable. Now we talked about the difference between being emotionally aware and mature and being emotionally needy. People take advantage of the emotionally needy, but there is a strength and vulnerability when you are aware and mature in your emotionalism. Um, Also, in conclusion, know that it's okay to be fed up. Know that it's okay to get to a point to where enough is enough. And it is also okay to fucking do something about it, okay? I am Galaxy Venus, your humble servant and host. This is the Sensual Eccentric Podcast, episode 8. Enough is enough. We almost out of here, y'all. One love, much love, all the time. I will, Spirit says the same. See y'all on Wednesday with another great topic. Smooches.
We'll make it real indeed. Don't say, time to go. No, I know you got some to spare. We've been fighting feelings when it's obvious that we both